Hello everyone, welcome to Erimu TV where you watch and learn. We are going to look at Business Studies Form 1, Lesson 10. I am your teacher, Margaret Wangari. Welcome. For more information or any questions, you can also get to us through our Facebook page, Erimu TV. So go ahead and like our Facebook page for even more tips on various subjects. You can also get to us _KE. Today, we shall be looking at the characteristics of human wants, and specifically, we shall be looking at the characteristics of economic resources. But before we look at the characteristics of economic resources, we are going to start by reviewing our last segment. Before the end of our last lesson, we looked at some work, and I left you to tackle that. So that is what we shall be starting with. So question number 1, you're supposed to define the term resource. A resource, or to do something. Resources that have monetary value, remember I told you that they are referred to as economic resources. We also have resources that don't have monetary value, and those ones I told you they are referred to as free gifts. So a resource, note that, is something that can be used to achieve a result or to do something. So if you have something that you can use, maybe for example you want to start making bricks for building, so you make those bricks, then you sell them. You may need to use a machine to assist you in doing that. You need a tractor. So that tractor is a resource to you. Why? Because it is going to help you to achieve what you want to do. That is rocks. Number 2, you are supposed to distinguish between economic resources and non-economic resources. Remember, non-economic resources are the ones I told you, they are referred to as free goods. So economic resources have monetary value. When we say that something have monetary value, we mean that you can get some money out of them. And on the other hand, non-economic resources do not have monetary value. That means you acquire them for free. And an example of non-economic resource is the air that you are breathing. You also have rainfall. You don't pay anybody for you to get rainfall. You don't pay anyone for the air that you are breathing. And those are the ones that we may call the non-economic resources. Example number 2. Economic resources are scarce in supply. They are scarce in supply. And when we say that they are scarce, that means they are not all over. You cannot find them all over. So they are unevenly distributed. On the other hand, non-economic resources are abundant in supply. That means they are in plenty. They are in plenty, and therefore anyone to acquire them. Let's now look at the specific objectives for this lesson, and by the end of the lesson, to state and explain characteristics of economic resources. Now, before we look at the characteristics of economic resources, it is important to understand what are economic resources. Remember, we had looked at that earlier on in our last lesson, and we said that an economic resource is something that you can be able to use to acquire something else. Now, we look now at the characteristics of economic resources. And one of the characteristics is that they have utility. Economic resources have utility. Now, utility is the ability. You say utility is the ability of a good or service to be able to satisfy human wants. Remember, we said that human wants are the needs that human beings usually have, and those needs have to be satisfied, or they have to be taken care of for life to continue smoothly. So these economic resources we are talking about, they are in that position to be able to satisfy human wants. So economic resources have the ability to satisfy human wants. That is why we are saying that economic resources have utility. The other characteristic, they can be complementary. Remember, we complementary goods earlier on in the course of our running, and we said that complementary goods are goods that are consumed together. Goods that are consumed together, that you cannot consume one without the other. For example, car and petrol. There's no way you can use a car without petrol. So when we say that economic resources are complementary, you'll find that different economic resources may be consumed together. For example, we have ink. Ink is an economic resource. A pen is also an economic resource, but you see, both are consumed together. You consume a pen and an ink together. When you go ahead and you purchase a leather shoe, that leather shoe makes you demands something else. That something else I'm talking about is the shoe polish. So for you to be able to satisfy that need of having a leather shoe, you must use what we're calling a polish. Now when it comes to resources, a shoe and a polish are both resources, but they are being consumed together. The shoe with the shoe polish are together. We continue with the characteristics of economic resources, and the other one is that they can be combined. They can be combined in various quantities to produce other goods and services. Let's say, for example, a sofa set that you sit on at home. So in that sofa set, you're going to find some grooves that are used to join the T-bars. You also have nails that are used to join the T-bars also. You also have the sponge that makes you feel comfortable when you are sitting on that sofa set. You also have that material. So you find that the economic resources can be combined in various quantities to produce goods and services through selling. The other characteristic of economic resources is that they have alternative uses. And this one you'll find that some economic resources can be put into different uses. I'm going to give you an example of a rad, a piece of rad. A person may decide to build some rental houses on that piece of rad, then rent those houses out, and at the end of the day, that person will get some money out of that. On the other hand, some people can decide to do what we call farming. You the products, you take the product to the market, and you also get some cash out of selling the products that you have grown in your piece of rad. So the economic resource here is the piece of rad, and you can see it can be put into different uses. So different economic resources may be put in to different uses. That marks the end of our lesson. I'm going to review with some assignment, and we are going to review it during our next lesson. So our assignment for today is you state and explain 5 characteristics of economic resources. State and explain any 5 characteristics of economic resources. I'm going to review with our quote of the day, our business quote of the day. It is the result of preparation, hard work, and learning from failure. That is a quote that was given by one Collins Powell. Thank you for watching. Keep it Elimu TV.